tried starting this earlier and no sound was being picked up, so let me see if it'll work this time. Okay, I hear the shuffling. Yep, sound's being picked up now. Let's recenter this. Let's clean the screen off a bit. So earlier today, Justin Trudeau announced he was. Oops, I didn't. Whoops, I didn't mute myself. Mute me real quick. Anyways, as I was saying, earlier today, Justin Trudeau announced that he was resigning as Canada's Prime Minister. Wow. Not how I thought the year was gonna start. You know, I gotta admit, I do feel kind of bad for the guy, you know? Yes, has he kind of ruined Canada? Maybe a bit, yeah, kind of. But you have to think about, like, the position he is currently in, you know? Do I like the guy? Not really. Do I sympathize with him, though? Yeah, a bit, kinda. Because you have to think, you know, he's in such a position that he loves. Why is this thing so floppy today? You know, he's in a position that he loves. I assume he loves being Canada's Prime Minister. What? Or at least he did love being Canada's Prime Minister. Like, this is a job, a role that he loved. And I'm sure he believed what he was doing was right. I'm sure he believed that he was doing good on behalf of the Canadian people. You know, it's like, well, whether people see the vision or not, whether people are grateful for my work or not, I'm sure he loved doing what he was doing. You know, it's like, well, how would you feel if you got your dream job, the job that you've wanted so badly, the job that you fought so hard to get? You believe you're doing a good job. You believe you are, you know, serving the people, serving the community, doing the job you love and wanted for so long, only to realize, only to be told, hey, like, you're doing a terrible job. Everyone hates what you're doing. Whether you believe you're doing right or not, everyone else hates you and hates what you're doing. Please leave. Please, you know, stop doing what you're doing. It's not even change your ways. It's just don't do this job anymore. Don't do this job anymore. We want someone else to do your job just better. You know, like, you would feel terrible as well. So I do kind of feel bad for the guy. And also because, well, we just started the year. We are barely a week into the new year. And, you know, the way to start off the year is by announcing you're resigning from your job. You know? And also earlier today when he was doing his press conference, kind of like speech, announcing his resignation plans, you know, you can hear in his tone of voice like he was trying to hold back crying. Or at least that's how it sounded to me. So, I do feel kind of bad for the guy. And didn't he get a divorce not long ago? So, like, yeah, he's not in a really great position right now. But, you know, what do I know? This NPC has been in the background of my life for like a decade at this point. Me barely knowing who he was. I just hope that with him resigning, hopefully someone else taking over will actually fix things, make things better. Now, keep in mind, I am in no way defending him, just like what I'm about to say isn't defending Joe Biden. You know, I just can't help but also think, like, you know, everyone online is just scrutinizing this guy for being a senile old man, which he is. You know, he definitely is. Maybe some of the decision he makes isn't the best. Although, like, you know, every single action he does gets put under a microscope and then gets flamed online. People saying he's too old, which he is. He definitely is too old to be president. You know, it's all fun and games now. We laugh at an old man not being able to function as, you know, he did back in his youth. I can only imagine, though, like, one day when we're all his age, one day when we are all around 80 years old, you know, each one of us will get to 80 differently, at different paces. One day when each of us who have, you know, made fun of Joe Biden, when we all get to 80 years old at one point, we're gonna realize, wow, we made fun of him for feeling this way. Now that I'm 80, I'm doing the same thing. I'm feeling the same ways that he must have felt. And I made fun of him for it all those decades ago. Well, we'll see if I even make it to 80. Who knows if I'm gonna make it to 80 years old. Either I would have been killed or I took myself out at some point. We'll see. You know, I see my friends are in like a voice group call right now. I would join them, but I've already made my choice. I'm doing this here to no one. Well, this is the life I've chosen. Unless I can get this Mewtwo fast, and then I can join them. Oh, I forgot to plug in my Switch, so I'm gonna have to do that real quick. That way I can hunt the Sneasels on the side. So earlier today, while not really busy at work, however, my sister, you can see me walking by. However, my sister, she didn't go to work today because, you know, like I said last time, she got her period. And I'm just thinking, wow, little princess here doesn't have to go to work, even if it wasn't busy. Gets to take an entire day off of work just because, you know, her period came. You know, my sister has such a, at this point, privileged life when it comes to work. Works at the family business. She can take a day off no problem for something like this. You know, it's not even a sick day. It's just, yeah, my stomach cramps are too bad. I can't come in today. Any other work, any other job that isn't the family company, well, do I need to say any more? Do I need to further elaborate? My mom always says, back in my day when I was young and I was starting to work, I just had to bear with it. I just had to endure the period cramps, and I still had to make my way to work. You, on the other hand... So earlier today, and when I say that, I mean literally just before I started doing this, I got my second shiny Hisuian Sneasel. However, I got a second female one. Now that's bad, at least in my eyes, because, you know, I'm currently hunting for 3 shiny Sneasels. 3 shiny Hisuian Sneasels, I should add. 1 of each gender for the gender difference for Sneasel, and then 1 to evolve into Sneasler. Doesn't matter which gender, because Sneasler doesn't have a gender difference. The first Sneasel I got was a female. I was hoping to get a second one, like the second one I got was male. Because what I don't want is for the order to be Sneasel, Sneasler, Sneasel. Right? I want Sneasel, Sneasel, Sneasler. But that would mean I would need the first 2 to be 2 different genders. So instead, what I've been doing this entire time, ever since the first shiny, is I've been saving the game before every single batch of eggs I hatch. Like every 5 eggs I hatch, I save the game before. Just in case I hatch a second female one before a male. So if that were to happen, which it did, I could remember which egg hatched the shiny. I could restart the game, move that egg aside for now, and hatch it afterwards. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Until I find a shiny male Sneasel egg, that second female one's not going to hatch until after it. Why does that matter? It matters to me, damn it. Don't question the process. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda not in the mood to be doing this today, right now. I'm kinda not in the mood to be hunting Mewtwo right now. You know, the other night when 2 of my friends came over and then the rest of the night was ruined by my sister, that night, a friend of mine actually asked me, like, why don't you ever join our Valorant games? Why don't you ever join the voice call? I'm just like, I never know when you guys do. Nobody tells me. And then they're just like, well, we're on like almost every night. I'm like, oh. Well, nobody tells me. I didn't know. And also today just wasn't really a good day for me. Wasn't really busy at work. Really no business at work today. And then quite often I would get hit in the face by finances. How much money that we have to pay to sustain our current lifestyle versus how much we actually make. We can thank Trudeau for that, you know. Thankfully he's leaving office at this point, or, you know, he will once another leader gets elected. You know, I've also been thinking, maybe it's time for me to start the next batch of shows. Because I'm about to finish, all the shows I've been watching this entire time. Only ones really left are Creature Commandos and Beast Games. There's only one episode of Creature Commandos left. And then Beast Games, well, that's a weekly release until the show's over. So I won't really have anything else to talk about in the meantime. We got the second last episode of Oshinoko to talk about today, as well as probably going to talk about the last 2 episodes of Squid Game Season 2. But then after that, well, not a lot left to talk about. One more episode of Oshinoko, the Season 2 finale, and then we wait for Creature Commandos and Beast Games, both of which release on the same day. But like I said, Creature Commandos only has 1 episode left. And then it's just waiting weekly for Beast Games. So I won't have anything to talk about. So maybe it's time to start the next batch of shows. So what shows am I about to watch next? Well, I'm thinking of starting The Boys Season 2. And then Arcane. That's a top one. That's the one I've been wanting to watch for quite a long time. Now that Season 2's over, I could binge both. There's also Secret Level. I want to check out what that's about. I still have yet to watch Edge of Sleep and Dead Boy Detectives. Now that I have access to a Netflix account, that makes it much easier to watch shows like Arcane and Dead Boy Detectives. The Boys, however, I'm still gonna have to watch online. Oh no, today just seems like a downer of a mood day. Today, just not a lot of things to really perk up the spirits, you know? Well, I'm not gonna lie, a shiny Mewtwo would perk up the spirits. If it shows up. You know, earlier today, I also finally decided to look up if Oshinoko was even gonna get a Season 3. It has been announced. Turns out it was announced back in, like, late October. Yes, we are indeed getting Season 3. It being January now, so that means it was announced, like, 3 months ago. Announced 3 months ago that, yes, Season 3 is in the works. Though we probably won't get Season 3 for quite a while. You know, 3 months since they announced it. Obviously, they probably started working on it long before. But, you know, animation takes a long time. So we probably won't see Season 3 for quite a while. And I also saw something head-scratching about, like, the end of Season 2. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Okay, I think this is... now that I see this... I saw something about episode 24 of the show, and, you know, I looked at the Wikipedia page, like, what's wrong with it? It says here, being delayed by a week. So it seems like the Season 2 finale was delayed a week. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, doesn't matter now. I don't know, I'm binging the whole thing after it's already been aired. I didn't know the Season 2 finale was delayed a week. Alright, let's get talking about these episodes, I guess. You know, unless Shiny Mewtwo shows up tonight, cutting me off. Tonight we should be talking about Oshinoko Season 2 Episode 12. The second and final episode of the season. As well as Episodes 6 and probably 7 of Squid Game Season 2. Yeah, can you tell I'm not really motivated to really do anything tonight? I want to talk about the episodes, but it's like, well, nobody cares, right? What's the point of talking about something when nobody cares? And, well, I do have to say, these episodes are certainly much better than From. Like, you know, that guy who recommended From to me, he also started watching Oshinoko. In fact, he was the one who recommended the show to me, but even he stopped watching. Because he said the episodes were mid. So, you know, I literally have nobody to discuss this stuff with. You know, that's partially also why I discuss it all here. Just so I can actually voice out my thoughts and opinions and emotions about these shows. But, you know, also because, well, nobody else watches the same stuff I do. So, I got no one to discuss it with. Alright, I guess we'll get start talking about these episodes. Let me take a sip of water first. Alright, episode 12 of Oshinoko Season 2. This one we actually start off with a flashback to, you know, Dr. Goro Amamiya as well as Sabrina. You know, the doctor's just chilling on the rooftop. Sabrina in her wheelchair goes up to visit him. And then he does the very kind thing of pushing her around very fast. You know, let her have some fun. You know, it's flashing back to when, you know, these two were alive in their previous lives. So the present day portions of the episode, which are obviously primarily most of the episode, because you know the episodes take place in present day. So the whole group is going on a trip to, I think the place is called Miyazaki. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, Kana's so excited she gets to go on a trip with Aqua. But then, she notices Akane's there to kind of ruin the party. Like, poor Kana. You know, she even starts crying like, what did I do to deserve this? I was so excited thinking I could spend quality time with Aqua and maybe try to grow close to him. Why is she here? So, poor Kana. And also poor Mewtwo for having to sit in the middle. Like, it was very quick. Mewtwo sit in between Kana and Akane on the plane. Like, she had to actually diffuse the fights between them. Off screen, because I assume, you know, she had to break the tension. So, they arrive. The new B Kamachi group have to go and film their music video. So, Aqua and Akane, they walk around, passing the time. Aqua decides to go to the hospital, which, it was pretty funny. Akane's like, where do you want to go visit? Aqua's like, I want to visit the hospital. Certainly would not be what you would expect. But no, it turns out that Aqua wants to visit the hospital because, you know, he worked there. But he has a pretty good alternative description to give Akane, saying that this is where I was born. Because technically that is also true. Back when Aqua was the doctor, he worked there, and then Aqua was born there. So yeah, technically both are true. Like, he wants to go back to the hospital and ask around about his old life. So he and Akane go there. Aqua at the front desk ask about a doctor previously here named Goro Amamiya. Goro Amamiya. But, you know, since it happened like 15 years ago, all the staff members that were there previously are no longer there, and new staff members don't know who this person is, who the doctor is. So then he also goes by the cliffside where, you know, he fell off and died, which I gotta say, like, never mind what I said about last time. No wonder they never found the body. This side is, like, by the mountainside, and complete wilderness surrounding the area. So, never mind. I guess it makes sense why they never found the body. And the way we find out at the end of the episode just where the body was, how hidden it was, yeah, I guess it makes kind of sense. It kind of makes sense how nobody ever found the body. So, you know, going to the cliffside, he also asks Akane, hypothetically, if an old pet were to have fallen off here and died, what do you think the chances are of finding the remains? Asking hypothetically, because, you know, it's his body that fell off and died. What are the chances of finding the body's remains? Akane actually believes like, oh, he came back to look for his pet dog. Which, yeah, you know, if that were true, if it was my dog who fell off a cliff and went missing, I would try to find him as well. I would try to find and recover the body. And even if 15 years had passed, I would still think about it. You know? And then they go to his old house, his old place of residence. The Goro Amamiya's house. And I'm just thinking, they were just able to walk in. It was just an unlocked sliding door. You know, the place did look abandoned. Nobody lives there anymore. And I'm also thinking, like, what's real estate like over there? Someone goes missing and, you know, nobody lives at the place anymore. How long do you wait until announcing, okay, this person's just not coming back? We need to vacate all of the person's belongings from his home of residence, and we need to put it back up on the market. Like, just how long do you have to wait? And then we get Aqua's, or rather, Goro Amamiya's backstory. We finally learn more about who these characters were before they died. So we learn from Aqua, you know, because it's his own backstory, his own life, his own prior life. You know, he didn't really have much family. His mother died at childbirth. He never knew his father. So he lived with his grandparents. He had a great relationship, or he had a good relationship with his grandmother, but not his grandfather. He felt guilty for, you know, his life for his mother's life. So that's what inspired him to become a doctor. Wanted to become a surgeon to save lives, you know. Probably to help with childbirth. Because, you know, he also wanted to help Ai with her childbirth. So he wanted to be a surgeon, I guess, to, you know, help with childbirth. To make sure that no kid has to suffer what he went through. The mother's life, the kid's life at the expense of the mother's during birth. You know, there was also flashbacks to, you know, the final moments of Sabrina before she passed. She gave the doctor a little eye collectible. And you just hear the pain that the doctor's going through, knowing that Sabrina's dying, and that her parents are a no-show. Well, you know, poor Aqua, poor Dr. Goro Amamiya. On the other hand, though, when it comes to the new B Kamachi doing their music video, you know, Ruby and Kana are doing their filming first, because minors are not allowed to work past 10 p.m. But Memcho, because she's not a minor, she's a grown adult woman, she can do her filming later. And she's very salty about that. She's very salty that she's old and wrinkly now. So Akane and Aqua sitting together watching the filming, they have a little chat. You know, Akane reveals, like, you can't be taking Kana out on dates like that. You know, she's bragging that she went to a barbecue place with you. You know, it's different. And yeah, that is right. She makes a very good point. Relationships are very different when it comes to idols versus actors. Because, you know, idols, they're... I can't believe, like, you know, sorry about this, fellas. idols, there's this hope that you will end up with the person one day. And then when you find out that, oh no, your favorite idol who you fantasize over, she has a boyfriend? Oh, the betrayal. How dare she fall for another man besides me? So, and Aqua's like, oh yeah, that's right. I guess I was careless. Because if Kana is seen around with Aqua, maybe she'll be taken a picture of by the paparazzi. It'll be announced that, hey, does she have a secret boyfriend? And worst case scenario, the same fate happens to Kana that happened to Ai. So we definitely don't want that to happen. Oh yeah. Halfway into the episode, we also get this brief narration scene. The female voice narrating the moment was saying, like, God brought these souls together, put them into Ai's soulless babies and let them be reborn. At first I was thinking, like, wait a second, who's speaking? They once again cut to that, silver-haired girl we've been seeing in the opening. She was, like, sitting up on a tree, surrounded by crows, looking like Halloween with an orange sky behind her. So, it's like, who is she? And the fact that she knows, whoever this girl is, knows the true identities of Aqua and Ruby. So I really question. Like, she looks like a small, young little girl. She can't be, like, an old 80-year-old woman who's been watching them the whole time and somehow knew, right? So, like, how does she know? I don't want to go into the realm of, like, superstitious, like, supernatural stuff. Because, for the most part, the show has been pretty grounded. Really based in reality. So I really wonder, like, are they actually going more towards the supernatural side? We'll have to see. There was also a big emphasis on crows in this episode. There were crows foreshadowing throughout the episode. Near the beginning, you see Ruby look at a crow, and then afterwards, after Ruby and Kana are done rehearsing, Aqua volunteers to stay back and watch for a bit longer, so she asks Akane to, take Ruby back to, I guess, the hotel. So Ruby and Akane are about to go back, but then a crow snatches something that Ruby has, so she chases after the crow to get back her stuff. Along the way, they walk into the forest at night, which is always a great idea. Walking along, they start talking, Ruby asks, how big of an age gap do you think is okay? It's like, okay. It's a pretty interesting question. Because at this point, Ruby is still under the impression that the doctor is still alive, just missing, just somewhere out there. Trying to lure him out with the new B Kamachi group. The thing is, though, previous episode literally confirmed Aqua, previously as the doctor, was like 30-ish doctor, 30 years old-ish doctor. And, well, it's been 15 years since they died and were reborn. So, bare minimum, hypothetically, if the doctor was still alive, he'd be like 45 at this point. And Ruby is now 16. So, a 30-year age gap is quite significant, I will say. You know, she fantasizes like, let's get married when I'm 16. I guess the legal marriage age over in Japan is 16 or whatever. I don't know. You know, it's weird. Not 18, it's weird. But whatever. So eventually they catch up to the crow. And the crow leads Ruby and Akane to a shrine that has a little passageway behind it. So they go in and they find a dead body. They find the skeletal remains of Dr. Goro Amamiya. Akane's just like, Ruby, let's leave. There's a dead body in here. Literally just said it in that kind of tone. But then, Ruby recognizes what's on the body. It's that eye pin, that eye collectible that she had and gave to the doctor. And also there's a freaking name tag on the doctor lab coat that he's wearing. So now Ruby knows that the love of her life is dead. Ruby knows that Dr. Goro Amamiya is dead. You see the, the star in her eye fizzle out. Because she even said herself, he gave her a will to live. Well, he's gone, and he's been gone for quite a long time. Now my question is, will Akane bridge the gap? Will Akane piece the two sides together? Because earlier in the episode, Aqua told Akane about his quote-unquote friends, this person he used to know, Dr. Goro Amamiya, who, is gone. Nobody knows where he is. And now that Akane knows that, well, Ruby, seems like she knew who this person was. Is Akane gonna go to Aqua, be like, Aqua, that person you said you knew once, your friend the doctor, we found his dead body. And then, like me and Ruby, like, wait, you and Ruby know of the doctor? You and Ruby found the doctor? It's like, yeah, your sister was really torn up about it. It seems like she was talking to me about being in love with this guy, talking about age gap. And then, let's say that Ruby said, this is the person that I was, that I had feelings for. Turns out he died long ago. Like, will that hint to Aqua, wait, you're telling me that my sister was Sabrina reborn? Because we know that moment's coming. At some point that moment is coming. I have no idea when it's happening, but we all know it's going to happen at some point. And then both Akane and Kana are going to be heartbroken and disgusted when Aqua chooses his own sister over the two of them. I gotta say, this season takes turns left and right. This season you start off with a damn play, and then it ends with our characters finding out about the dead body. Now, I have to confess, I did know this moment was coming up, because I'm clearly very late to watching the show, watching the season. I did get spoiled that Akane ran into the doctor's dead body. Like, I didn't know that scene was happening at some point, but I didn't know the context around it. I didn't know what was going to play and lead up to it. And I gotta say, like, isn't the pacing moving a little fast? Like, just overall for the show? Season 1 was like, the beginning, fine. And then end of Season 2, they're already finding the dead body and learning the truth. For them, it's been like 15 years. But for us, it's been 2 seasons. So it's like, isn't this reveal happening a little soon? But anyways, that's Oshinoko Season 2, Episode 12. One episode left in the season. What are we thinking? It's time to change the music? How long have we been listening to this for? 44 minutes. Let me just log into my brother-in-law's Netflix so I can go over the Squid Game episode. Oh, I gotta mute that. No. Mute. Alright, so let's talk about this. Squid Game, Season 2, Episode 6. So this episode opens up and we jump straight into it. Because, you know, the previous episode ended right before the good stuff happened. So the brand new game they're playing is this like merry-go-round kind of game. You stand on this spinning platform. Once the platform stops, a number will be announced and you have to gather that number of people and go into one of the rooms. If you don't get a big enough group, you die. If you go inside... Well, yeah. If you don't get a big enough group and you go into the rooms thinking the guards won't find out, you die. If you don't join any group at all and you're left outside, you die. So yeah, and I really question too, just to add to the intensity, just to add to, you know, the severity in the moment, you get these really bright yellow lights when the platform is spinning, but then when the platform stops and you have to gather a group of people, well, the room flashes like red and purple lights, adding to like the urgency of it. You know, it's just like, wow, why'd you have to do that? Just makes it more tense. But I guess that's the point. Oops. So yeah, a couple moments couple moments happen in this sequence. We get the hilarious and iconic meme-worthy Thanos dancing moments. Like, those are just gold. We get moments that hint more towards, you know, young Eel's treachery, where he splits off from the group like, okay, we need 4 people, we're a group of 5, you guys go, I'll find a different group. We never see him with another group, so, you know, because he's literally the boss of the place, he could just go into a room, pretend he's with others, and have complete immunity. We also get our first, quote-unquote, major death. But then again, she was, like, barely in the show. She was still, like, a background character. So, once she died, it's like, who? The character of Young Mi, she died. Because, oh my god, these Korean names. At this point, I'm just going to give up on trying to say their names and just give their descriptions. Like, Young Mi was left outside because time was running out. She was pushed aside. She was pushed aside by a different group, so she couldn't make it into the room in time. The trans person was about to... I'm so sorry with these descriptions. The trans person was about to leave and try to help her, but there wasn't enough time, so the crypto scammer guy, he pushes everyone in. You know, sadly locking her out to death. But technically saving the rest of them because there was no time. They all would have been killed if they didn't have enough people inside the room. And there was also a moment where the mother and son characters were split up. And I don't understand why everyone is saying he left her. He left his mother behind. I don't understand why everyone's saying that because he was dragged away by 2 other guys. He didn't intentionally leave his mother behind. So I don't know why everyone is saying he left his mother. Like, I don't get it. There was also this scene where, you know, it's only 3 people, but Thanos' group has 4. Thanos, his douchebag friend, the timid guy, and the hot chick. It was foreshadowed earlier, like, hey, I'm teaming up with you because I know you won't betray me. So Thanos is like, we need one of you two to leave. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors! Whoever wins comes with us. She reaches out her hand, come with me. You know, she's making... She has her hand out, so then... I think his name was Minsu, he does scissors. So technically he won, leaving her behind. Betraying her. She even said, like, I'm teaming up with you because I know you won't betray me. But yeah, when the mother and son pairing was split up, I really don't understand why everyone's saying he left his mother behind. Once again, he didn't intentionally do so. He was dragged away by 2 other guys. And I have to say, this portion, this moment, the acting was fantastic. Where the son gets emotional and cries for unintentionally, against his will, leaving his mother behind to potentially be killed. And I gotta say, that acting is absolutely amazing. I do get emotional watching that scene. I do tear up. You know, there's nothing that'll make you emotional like seeing a son's love for his mother. Like, no matter how old you get, you know, no matter how old you get, you can always still cry into your mother's arms, you know? You can be like a 50-year-old man and you can still cry into your elderly mother's arms. So there is the final round of this game, which I was also thinking like, my god, how many rounds does this game have? They went for like 10 rounds. So they figured out that the final round of the game will probably need 2 people per room. It was actually young Eel who, deduced that, who came to that conclusion. Of course, he would know, since, he is literally the boss. He probably pre-planned this. However, young Eel immediately grabbed Jungbei's hand to, pair up with him. Young Eel intentionally saved Jungbei for later on. We'll discuss that when the time comes. However, when the 2 of them were inside the room, there was another person already there, and, they will be killed and disqualified, eliminated. If there's not only 2, there's 3. So what does young Eel do? He kills that guy. And I'm still thinking, like, that counts? Sure, you're the boss, and if you say this technicality counts, then it counts. But, like, that counts? There's technically 3 bodies in that room, dead or alive, right? Whatever. So, this game is done now. There's also little moments where the outside crew are trying to look for the island. They're using drones to scour the island, see if there's anything hidden or anything out of place. But then Captain Park is like, what is this technology? What is this futuristic, development? Unbeknownst to the human race. It's called a drone, sir. So the outside crew seems to have found something suspicious on an island. Looking like some sort of hatch opening that leads underground, so they check it out. Well, we follow them later on. I guess I may as well just finish that story. Well, the entire, almost SEAL Team 6 looking group goes and takes a look. The person opening the latch, gets caught up point blank in an explosion and dies. I'm just thinking, wouldn't you have wanted to open that door on the other side? So that you don't immediately get hit with anything that isn't just an entrance? Wouldn't you have wanted to open the door from the other side? Thus minimizing any potential damage that could happen? If you were in the military, if you were in the Navy, wouldn't you be taught this stuff? Not to open a door and be right there when the door opens? I don't know, or what do I know? I've never been in the military, I've never been in the army. I don't know what training they do. Well, there is a scene where the crypto scamming dude, as well as the pregnant girl, because that is his child as well. It's the 2 of them. He's trying to talk with her, after we get out of here, let's start over. We can combine both our money and we can raise a family together. Right? But she's still not buying his shit. Thanos and the other guy sees the 2 of them together oh man, he scammed of us our money and even has time to, hook up in this game? That's not fair. We can't allow that. Because that guy sucks. There was also this annoying scene with the shaman lady casting a curse on these guys. My god, she's annoying. So they're now voting. These guys are voting for whether or not they're staying in the games. or the games will, you know, whether they get to go home and split the money or whether they'll do another game. Wow, to no surprise, it's split evenly. It is tied for whether they end the games or continue. Clause 3 is that if there's a tie, they will vote again. But they will be given time to think about it first. So they're going to vote again the next day. So they're fed. They're given food to eat. It looks like they're eating kimbap, which, if I'm not mistaken, is like no fish sushi. I think kimbap is, you know, a sushi roll without any fish. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it looks like they're eating kimbap, but the strange thing is they're given forks. They are given forks to eat their fishless sushi with. There's also great tension and divide between the two groups. The two groups of, like, you know, people who voted to continue the games and people who voted to quit the games, to stop the games. Gi-hun realizes this is exactly what they want. The people running the games, this is exactly what they want. They want tension between the two sides. And then Gi-hun realizes, wait a second, we're given forks. These could be used as weapons. So we know what's coming up. Now, I do love Thanos as a character. However, I don't like the moments where, you know, he is being a dick to not only Min-Soo. Well, he is not really much of a dick to Min-Soo. You know, he's kind of nice to him. Except for this scene. You know, because they're pressuring this very timid guy who really needs to grow a pair of balls. They're trying to convince him to, like, come on, man, don't choose to end the games. Let's do one more game together. So the crypto scammer guy is, like, accusing Thanos of cheating, trying to convince others to, you know, continue the games when they voted not to. They're all in the bathroom now, by the way, so there's great tension between the two groups. The two sides. Well, Thanos and that other douchebag, because they really don't like the scammer guy, you know, Thanos says some things that really get under his skin. You know, it's like, I see you with that girl of yours. How about I ask her out? Like, when I own you. You owe me money, so all the money you make here is mine. I own you. Maybe I'll ask out your little girlfriend too. She'll probably love it. So Thanos trying to get under this dude's skin. Causes a fight. There is a big, violent fight in the bathroom. Thanos is about to choke out this guy, but then he gets stabbed in the neck with the fork. So, that was a shocker. That really was a shocker moment. Which, damn, Thanos was killed. Aw, man, I really like this character, too. It's, you know, that more gut-wrenching, like, oh no, such a lovable character is now dead. And because you knew all these characters aren't going to survive, you really have to question, like, okay, how are they going to kill off these characters? Thanos doesn't seem like the kind of character to be killed off in a game. So how are they going to kill him off? Well, Thanos' final resting place will be being stabbed by a fork in a dirty bathroom. Aw, man. I really liked him, too. I really liked the character. Well, Thanos is dead. There is a very big, violent brawl happening in the bathroom. Very bloody. Wow, look at this demonstration of human nature. So, Thanos' douchebag friend takes Thanos' like bloody necklace full of drugs. He also takes the fork out of his neck. I'm talking about episode 7 at this point, the final episode of the season. So yeah, his friend takes the fork and just completely mutilates a different guy. Oof, it is dark. If there's one thing about the Squid Game, it is that it gets dark. It gets really dark. It really surprises me that, like, kids watch this show. Parents should not be letting kids watch this show. And when I say that, I mean, like, you have people playing games, playing kids' games. Parents might assume, oh, this is a show that kids might like. Until they see all this violence and death and blood. Because think about, for example, how popular Squid Game Roblox is, right? Anyways, back on the outside, a random NPC who is on the boat is trying to search for Gi-hun and the island. He wakes up throwing up on the side, catches, the Captain Park, sabotaging the drone. At this point, it is confirmed. The captain is the rat. He's working for the Squid Game. So, it makes you think, was he intentionally misleading Jun-ho this whole time? Like, this whole time. Remember, Captain Park was the one who rescued Jun-ho from the water when he was shot by his brother. And then for 2 years, they were setting sail together trying to find the island. Was he just intentionally misleading him the whole time? Did Frontman hire Captain Park to save his brother, but mislead him so that he can never find the island again? Makes you think. So the dude calls out Captain Park like, who are you? And then Captain Park stabs him a bunch of times and throws him overboard. Well, they don't really follow up on this storyline, at least not until season 3, I'm assuming. So they're going to notice, like, hey, one of our crew is missing. There's literally one place he could be, and that's off ship, overboard. It's a boat. There's only so many places he can be. So, if he's not on the boat, that means he went overboard. Alright, so this episode, the rest of the episode. So, because Gi-hun knows what's coming. He knows that, there's a divide between the groups, and there's a lot of tensions. The people who want to continue to play the games, they realize that, the more people die, the more prize money that gets divided. And if they kill some of the people who don't want... If they kill some of the people who don't want to continue, that'll lessen the number of votes to end the games. So they get to continue playing and earn more money. So Gi-hun knows, with the addition of forks in hands, that this is going to be the same thing that happened last time Gi-hun was here. During nighttime, they're going to be attacked. And, it's basically a drill at this point for the workers, too. They get called for a special game. Prepare for the special game to start. So, once the light turns out... Yeah, the group starts attacking. And, this is actually... I'm not gonna lie, these moments are pretty hard to watch. Like, it is pretty dark, there is no better way to phrase it than it's really dark. It's a really dark concept to watch. And, in all the carnage that's happening, all the slaughter as well, nobody realizes, like, hey, wait a second, it was lights out a second ago, but the moment we start attacking, the light starts flickering. Because everyone's caught up in the moment either killing or being killed, nobody realizes why are the lights flickering. There's not a light switch in here for us to control. Because everyone's too in the moment, they don't realize that this is exactly what the people want. This is exactly what they want. They're controlling this. And something I also questioned for a bit is that they have monitoring inside the rooms. They have infrared scanners for the rooms. I'll get back to that in a second. So during the carnage, we get a flashback to literally a couple minutes ago to Gi-hun's plans. So they intentionally did not tell everyone who did not want to vote to continue. They intentionally didn't tell everyone in order to sacrifice a few. Some people don't know what's coming, so they don't hide. In the carnage, once people start being killed, the guards are going to come in and stop them. Gi-hun's plan is basically, we pose as dead bodies, we catch the guards off guard, we take their guns, and then we march up to the control room, and we end the games for good. So damn, Gi-hun willing to sacrifice a couple of lives to end the games for good. So he made a very good point. When the guards come in to stop all the carnage, they're not going to pay attention to the bodies on the floor right away. They're going to fire their guns, aim their guns at the people who are killing, stopping the fights. And then afterwards, they scan the bodies. They check the bodies that are dead. So people who are posing as dead bodies, well, they have a chance to attack. At first I was thinking, I thought these guys had infrared scanners in the room. Can't they check instantly if a body's dead or not with their infrared scanning? And can't they be warned like, hey, you're approaching a body that's not actually dead, be careful. Maybe they'll jump up and attack you. But I guess, you know, the moment a body dies, it doesn't turn cold instantly. Like, for a good little bit, the body is still warm after it dies. Well, yeah, Gi-hun's plan kind of worked. You know, he managed to ambush some of the guards, steal their guns, and kill a bunch of other guards. They also have one person captive. They force him to unmask himself. Turns out he's just a young man. And then they devise this plan. Now that they're armed with guns, they're going to march up to the control room and take over the game and end it for good. And then they have their one hostage lead the way. So they go back to that, like, you know, staircase area where a whole bunch of guards shoot at them. It's basically a big shootout at this point. So they have to continue. Gi-hun and Jungbei are gonna go forward, go into the, you know, the, I guess the manager's suite. These guys seem to be making progress, but then they're losing because they only have so much ammunition. I think his name was Daeho. He gets tasked with going back and collecting more bullets, more magazines, but he gets scared and he freezes. Which, can you really blame him? Young Eel, as well as two others, go and try to follow Gi-hun, but then he backstabs the two. So basically, everyone who, had guns shooting at the guards, they're all killed. Except for the one dude who, has the daughter. It's implied that it's Noul who shot him in a possibly non-lethal way. So we'll have to see where that goes in Season 3. Well, they run out of bullets. Gi-hun and Jungbei have to surrender. But they don't know that Young Eel has betrayed them and gone back to his position as frontman. Young Eel tricked them thinking that, they were killed also. So, Frontman really drives it home with Gihan. Like, did you enjoy your little game of playing the hero? Let me show you the consequences of your actions. And then he kills Jungbei directly in front of Gihan. That's why Frontman saved Jungbei earlier, wanting to personally kill him in front of Gihan. Gihan is detained, and that's basically where the season ends. We get a little post-credit scene. We get this, like, male doll. You know, we had the female red light, green light doll. We're shown this male doll, which we don't know what that means just yet. We also see this, like, train traffic light. But yeah, the final episode was basically just a big shootout. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if I was in this position, I would not join these guys in shooting out. Because over the PA system, it was announced. If you do not go back to your beds, you will be eliminated, which we know means you'll be killed. So yeah, not a chance I'm going to go with them. Because they are heavily outnumbered. You know how many pink soldiers they have? It's like a game. These NPCs just kept on spawning in. No matter how many pink soldiers they killed. Like, you know, just a dozen more would come over and fill the place. So, realistically, these guys stood no chance. And I've also been seeing the same criticism that I have with this season finale. Thankfully, I'm not the only one who thought this. That this season finale, with the cliffhanger it left on, does not feel like a season finale. And I thought this when I was watching it too. To me, it felt like a mid-season finale. It felt like we're halfway into a season. Because the story very much did just abruptly stop halfway into the plot. We're only 3 out of 6 games in. And then they just ended the season. So, seasons 2 and 3 are essentially just one big season, one big storyline split into 2. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that way. You know, it's also going to be weird, the legacy of the show, where season 1 was disconnected. It is very much its own thing. And then both season 2 and 3 take place 3 years after the first season and are basically back to back. You have season 1 that's its own thing. 3 years later in universe, you have seasons 2 and 3 back to back. It's like, that's gonna be kind of strange. Anyway, so Squid Game Season 2, I've seen people online saying that it's not as good as the first season, and yeah, I admit, while I very much enjoyed Season 2, I liked it. Obviously, it wasn't going to be as good as Season 1, right? Season 1's quality and fan favoritism skyrocketed. It was very much lightning in a bottle. That's the thing. Like, that's why Season 2s of shows are always not as good as Season 1. Because Season 1 is always going to be so amazing. You have such high expectations. And then Season 2, it's like, damn, Season 1 was better. Just because Season 1 was, you know, your first experience with it. Something brand new. Like, it's very hard to capture the same kind of magic with the second season. But overall, all in all, yeah, I liked Season 2. I'm excited for Season 3 to see how it ends. Because, you know, a lot of the characters we met, their storyline just basically ended halfway into the season. Which it did not even end. The rest of our characters are, you know, just hiding in the room, waiting for either our heroes to come back saying, "We ended the games, we took this place over," or the guards come in and it's like, "Alright, those, you know, rebels have been taken out. Please go to bed." And you know, something that I've thought about now that I've seen this moment. You know how for the quote-unquote special game, all that carnage during, you know, this time in the games where people slaughter others in the dead of night? Well, when the guards come in to stop them, the guards fire bullets in the air to signal, "Hey, we're here now, stop it." So the guards fire bullets into the air. Wouldn't that mean there are like bullet holes on the ceiling? Either they, you know, get that drywall fixed every single time, or there's just a bunch of bullets in the ceiling and nobody paid attention. And you know something else? I also question where these guys get all the money from. You know, that prize money doesn't just come from nowhere. So I really question, where are these guys getting all this money to give away as a prize? But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed Season 2. I do wish that it wasn't basically just one season split up in half. And I admit, some of the games weren't as, you know, chilling, or not chilling. It didn't make you hold your breath compared to the first season's games, right? Although I am very glad that they changed it up. You know, I'm glad they didn't just do the exact same games again, just with the new cast of characters. Although in a different universe, in a different timeline, that did happen, and I'm not gonna lie, it would be interesting to see, with Gihun's foresight on the games to come, how that would have played out. Not gonna lie, I would be a little curious on how that would have played out. Let's see what else I can listen to. There's a new character for Valorant? I see here Taeho official gameplay reveal. Valorant uploaded 12 hours ago. Huh. I woke up a little bit earlier this morning to make breakfast, make food for everyone. So I am a little bit sleepy. I also didn't have any caffeine today. I don't normally drink coffee. You already know. I uh at work we make a cup of coffee from instant coffee and then we just take a sip. We take a swig of it. So I don't drink an entire cup. I take like 2 gulps. No caffeine in my system today. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want. Maybe I just won't do any music today. Cause well, now that I'm done talking about the shows, I'm tired. I'm not really in the mood. Damn it! Now I gotta recenter this. Was that shadow there the whole time? That was my cup of water there. why I'm just not really in the mood today. Why I'm not really in a good mood tonight. Is it because I'm tired? Is it because I'm low energy and I'm actually tired? Even though there wasn't really much going on at work today, you know, I still didn't have any caffeine in me, as well as, I did wake up early. I also had to drive myself back home after work. Because, well, my mom was running late this morning, so I had to hurry up and drive myself out to work. Normally we take one car and we go out together. But because she was running late today, well, I had to open the store. So I had to leave first. So that means like I took my car out. That means I had to drive my car back. Ugh. I guess I'm just a little tired tonight. Maybe I'll just end this early tonight. I mean, there's no objections. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching. So what if I end a little earlier tonight? Maybe I'll do this for like 10 more minutes. Maybe I will end earlier tonight. Well, I'm going to end this in a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm going to end earlier tonight. I'm tired. I'm low on energy. So hopefully next time I will have, obviously, more energy and more shows to talk about. Ugh. What else is there? It's been a while since we heard this one. Oh, where is the shiny Mewtwo at? I got 5 more to hunt after. But then again, I guess it's a good thing this Mewtwo's taking a while. You know, gives me more chances to talk about the shows. Oh yeah, so earlier today my hand got hurt again. As if, you know, the cut I got on my hand last time wasn't bad enough. Like, I don't think you guys can see it. Like, yeah, you guys can't see it. Like, you guys can't see it, it's too zoomed in. There's a scar on my hand, and then earlier today I got this little, you know, scratch right here. Yesterday I got a small little cut right here, you can barely see it. And then earlier today on my other hand, right here, right here, busted open because of how dry it is, thanks to how cold it is outside. So my hands are having a tough time right now. I need to put on some lotion before bed. I suppose I'll do one more reset after this. Well, I'll do one more as I do the outro, I guess. So, yeah, that'll be it for tonight. I'm tired. I'm not really in the mood tonight. You know, I'm not really motivated tonight. So I'm going to end a little bit earlier. With this being the last one we do for tonight. Well, nothing. Nothing tonight. Damn, this is taking a while. I know. Oh, great. You decided to tune in and chat right as I was about to end. Fine. One more. Yeah, I'm gonna end earlier tonight. I'm tired. I'm not really motivated to be doing this. Or is it time for your soft resets to average out? It could be, considering the fact that Shiny Xerneas happened so fast and was full odds. You're keeping me here, you know that? I mean, I'm not doing anything else tonight. What am I gonna do? Join a group chat with all my friends? Nah, it's alright. It's not my bad. It's not your bad, you know? I really don't have anything else to do tonight anyways. I'm just tired. It's not like I'm gonna go to bed early, you know? How are things with you? I guess I'm sticking around a little longer. I got nothing else to do. How are things with you? It's been a long day for me. Even though nothing happened today, it's been a long day. You're leaving. Alright, fine. One last reset, then I call it for tonight. Oh, leaving the country. Oh. Going on another trip? Are you gonna go to New Zealand again? Oh yeah, I also saw a reel on Instagram. Hypothetically, if all of North America were to combine, so Canada, US, and Mexico, if all of Canada, all of North America were to combine into just one big country, it turns out the population would still be less than India. Really? All three populations combined would still have a smaller population overall than India? Sounds about right. Have you seen India? I've seen how filthy it is. I haven't seen just how populated it's been. I also saw another reel on Instagram. It's those like people asking, what's the dirtiest country in the world? India. It's not India, try again. No, it's definitely India. Not to mention maps are skewed to make northern/southern places bigger. Really? Wow, I didn't know India had the #1 population density in the world, even bigger than China's. China's #2. And I have seen how densely populated China is. From footage, of course, not in person. Well, since it seems like I'm clearly not leaving here just yet, I guess I could make it to like at least 2 hours, so like 10 more minutes. Once again, I'm just tired. I don't have shit to do after this anyway, so I turned this off early. It doesn't mean I'm doing anything else. You know, it's not like I'm going to go to bed early. I don't necessarily need to shower tonight. I already did the dishes. Yeah, I don't have anything to do before going to bed tonight. I'll probably start watching some shows tomorrow, so I don't have anything else to watch tonight. I ain't got no girlfriend to talk to, so that's off the table. I clearly am not gonna do any exercise. My fat ass, that's out of the question. Anyways, when are you going on your trip? Is it like a graduation celebration trip? Or did it just line up? Did the timing just line up? You know, if he goes on a trip to celebrate his graduation, at least, you know, at least we know that he can actually celebrate graduating. Unlike when I did back then, you know, it was an absolute fraud of a trip because it turns out I freaking failed. Oh yeah, you know, earlier today I also saw footage like on Instagram of people storming Costco them just waiting right there for the doors open. There were even police waiting outside to like handle the crowd. And what were the people waiting outside Costco for? Pokemon cards. You were only allowed to like buy 2 per person. I don't know, I don't collect cards anymore. You know what I still feel like to this day that I missed out on? Yu-Gi-Oh! You know how growing up it was like, are you a Pokemon fan or a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? Which cards did you collect? Obviously I was Team Pokemon, but like, I don't know shit about Yu-Gi-Oh! I know absolutely nothing. I probably know as much about Yu-Gi-Oh! As I know about PCs. And I know very little about PCs. Next to nothing. I probably know more about rocket science than I do computer parts or Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't know anything about computers, about rocket science. I don't know, I just never got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how it works. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it. Something about a pot of greed or like... I don't know. Oh, wow, Mewtwo really is taking a while. I guess I'll do this for 5 more minutes and then I'll call it. And, well, he already left. No shame in feeding left. He's not replying anymore. I stayed here for nothing. Okay, one more reset after this, and then I'm really gonna call it for tonight. Alright, so this one will be the last reset for today, and then I'm gonna call it. Once again, hopefully next time I will have more energy, more motivation, and more shows to talk about. Alright, last encounter for tonight. Damn it. Alright, no shiny tonight. I'm gonna call this here. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for more of exactly the same things over and over. Okay, bye.